What's up, guys? It's your boy, Barca boy 103. Just finished watching the match and Barcelona drop points and draw 1-1 with Real Betis. Still undefeated in 2025, which is a nice little record to have, of course, but 2 points dropped in La Liga today, and the team just looks so dead. They look so tired, so fatigued. They look so sloppy in this game. So I think fatigue and tiredness in the games are slowly but surely catching up to us, and this match was a perfect example of that. The starting lineup for this match is on the screen for you right now. It was Hasni in goal, a back four of Kounde, Cubarsí, Araujo, and Alejandro Balde, midfield three of De Jong, Pedri, and Gavi, front three of Lamine Yamal, Lewandowski, and Ferran Torres. Quite a strong team after that really tough and tiring game midweek against Atleti. A lot of these players did start that game, and that kind of knockoff effect was very evident in this game. Now, the only goal scored in this match for Barcelona was scored by Gavi. It was a great play by Barcelona to win the ball back from a Betis counterattack. I think Kounde won it back, and then Lamine took the ball, ran forward with it, found Ferran Torres in the middle. Ferran Torres picks out a great pass to Gavi, which Gavi makes a great run in behind the defense. He's onside, through on goal as well, shoots it across goal, and scores. Gives Barcelona the lead, but unfortunately not on enough to score all 3 points. So overall, the team performance rating on the night, I'm going to be giving it a very average 6 out of 10. I think, you know what, it's not a performance where I can go say, oh, we were poor, we were abysmal, the performance wasn't the best. I mean, we still created a good amount of chances in this game, but we just weren't clinical. The passing a lot in this game was very sloppy. The intensity was non-existent. It was a game where Barcelona just really hoping to win this game just based on individual quality. And to be fair, with that starting lineup, you should be beating Betis at home, but Betis have been very good in 2025 since we beat them in the Cup 5-1. They've been on this great run of form since then. They're a very good team, as we do know. The game in the first game in La Liga was also a 2-2 draw, so both games ended in a draw this season. This game was coming. Of course, in my match preview yesterday, I predicted that Barcelona would win nearly 2-1. So if we got the win in the end, I would have been bang on, because this game had this written all over it. Good team at home after the back of a big win. The team just looks fatigued. It just looks tired. And I do want to give a little bit of criticism here to Flick. I think if Flick rotated maybe a bit more, I gave the team a bit more of a freshness, we could have seen a much different outcome, but everything was just sloppy. The passing in that first 10 minutes was non-existent. I think the chance creation in that last 20-25 minutes, we didn't create anything. We got some balls in behind. That was it. The best chance was probably Raphinha's free kick, which wasn't even that great. The best chance of the second half was very early on with Kounde. After that Kounde chance, we created nothing. I mean, we created, but we didn't finish or execute nothing. The passing for me and the finishing the final third was absolutely abysmal. And again, I think that comes down mainly to fatigue and tiredness. That's why I'm not too disappointed with this result. Of course, it does have more of an emphasis as Madrid lost earlier today. Of course, Madrid won earlier today, then we draw this game, would have been a much different scenario. But since Madrid won, still have a 4-point lead at the top. It's not the worst case scenario in the world. It's not the greatest, obviously, but again, the cushion is still there. The lead in La Liga is still there. And then the day we did increase our lead after this weekend. So if you offered me that, we would have, of course, taken it. But it's just a little bit disappointing that we couldn't capitalize on Madrid losing, shockingly to Valencia. And that also has a big effect on how the mood is in this game. But, I respect the team for at least going for it. They're trying at least, but again, they just look so tired, whether it's Frankie, Pedri, Lamine, Kounde, they all just look so leggy. They look like they didn't have that extra spark, that extra, oomph into them, and it's quite evident in this game based on the run of play as well. So overall, 6 out of 10 for me based on the team performance today. The team just looked very tired and very leggy in this match. Let's now get into the players' individual player ratings. It's going to be quite the same throughout, but we're going to start with the goalkeeper, Hasni in goal, 6 out of 10. I think he's at fault halfly for that first goal that we did concede. Shouldn't be saving that. It is right at him. Maybe he didn't see. Maybe there's a bit of a swerve. I haven't seen the angles. Based on the replays that I've seen, Hasni should be saving that. Apart from that, had a pretty okay game. Made, I think, 2 or 3 saves that were quite comfortable. I think his runs out were very strong in this game. Pass on the back was fine as well. Didn't really have to do much, to be fair to him. So I think he had an overall solid game, apart from, of course, the goal conceded that is very poor from him, and based on his form this season, he should be doing much better with that. But it is unfortunate, so I will give Hasni an average 6 out of 10. Into the center backs, of course, first on the right hand side, it was Araujo, captain on the night, but not a captain's performance. 5 out of 10 for me. So poor on that corner that, of course, we ended up conceding. I said half of it was on Hasni. The other half for me is on Araujo. Absolutely criminally disgusting defending on Nathan on that corner. I mean, he has his head down, eyes closed, not even looking at the player, and you can basically lift him up a little bit as well with all the hugging he did to him. Terrible defending from him. And of course, he did this in the other game as well. What game that we can see that we end up winning at home from a corner kick? It's just he's been so poor on corners, and then after that, giving away sloppy fouls. His passing was all over the place. His passing in the beginning of the game was actually not too bad, but his second half was okay because all he had to do really was just mainly defend. When you rely on Araujo more than just defending, that's where I think his vulnerabilities and his frailties come into play. We saw how well he did against Athletic midweek. Why? He just came in, defended. That's all he had to do, and that's what he's best at. But when you rely on him a bit more, I think he did very well against Chucho Hernandez in that first 10 minutes. Catching him on the break, his pace was fantastic, which again, we don't take away from him, but everything apart from his actual defending is quite below average for a Barcelona center back standard. That's why I wasn't really too bothered if he was going to end up leaving Barcelona. But nonetheless, I think he's at fault again for us dropping points in this game, which is a bit unfortunate for his reputation. But should have done much better on that corner. So 5 out of 10 for me. Could have been much better. Center back partner, of course, on the left-hand side. Pau Cubarsí, again, average 6 out of 10. Don't really think he put a foot wrong in this game, to be fair. Had a great challenge on the break from on Betis. I forget what player was it that was running through, but then what he had to do really, passing on the back was fine, was finding spaces, was staying back with Araujo to catch the spaces of Betis on counters and stuff like that. So, I mean, did what he had to do, didn't do anything over the top, played at the level of I expect from Cubarsí, had a good few tackles in as well, so average 6 out of 10 from him. Into the fullbacks now, first on the left-hand side, it was Balde. Give Balde 6 out of 10 as well, very average from him. I mean, he got in behind quite a few times, crossing wasn't the best. He had some good crosses in the first half, to be fair, but second half wasn't quite there. That's probably why Flick took him off for Gerard Martin. Again, just looks like he played that full game against Athletic midweek. Looked a bit leggy in this game, and it is unfortunate. Don't really think he did anything wrong per se. I think they defended quite alright, especially against the pace of Antony as well, but just didn't have that extra spark in him in the final third, which was a bit unfortunate. So 6 out of 10 from me. Other fullback, which again for me, worst play on the pitch today, Jules Kounde, 4 out of 10. Absolutely embarrassing from him. I mean, the amount of misplaced passes was astounding. To Lamine, to Frankie, to Pedri in the middle, at some points to Gavi as well. He was woeful in a tactical day. Defended okay, tactical fouls here and there, got back against Fornals and defended well. Of course, made that block for the goal as well. So defensively, again, no problem with Kounde. It's just going forward. Very similar to Araujo. When you rely on Araujo apart from his defending, you see his frailties. Same with Kounde as well. Since he got benched for that Rayo Vallecano game, his output offensively has been so bad. Of course, in the last game against Atleti, world-class performance. Why? Because he was mainly defending in the game, and that's where his best attributes are. Should have scored that chance as well. Embarrassing finish, and he shot right at Adrian. Shoot that anywhere else, it goes in. But just going forward today, where you rely on your fullbacks the most, he let us down today, unfortunately. Again, maybe due to fatigue, due to tiredness. I don't know. He's of course a machine, playing every single week, every single game, but not the best from Kounde today. 4 out of 10 from me. Into the midfield, firstly, Frankie in the pivot, average 6 out of 10. Very poor first 10 minutes. He was giving passes away left, right, and center. Did not look great, doing dummies when the Betis players were intercepting it. Past that 10 minutes, looked alright. I think his passing after that really did get fine-tuned and was not taking that many risks in this game that we do see from Frankie. Had some good build-up play, I would say, from like the 15 minutes to like the half an hour mark, and making a lot of those darting runs in the midfield, which you like to see from Frankie. But after that, it was just really conservative from him. I was playing more so smart than more so the game, I felt like. But apart from that first 10 minutes, I think he was quite average in this game. So 6 out of 10 from him. On the pivot, of course, was Pedri. 6 out of 10 from him as well. It just felt like it wasn't his day today. That's how kind of the game felt like for him from his perspective. I'm not saying he was poor per se, but again, a lot of the final balls, the outputs, the even the connectivity play with Frankie was very bad in this game. Just like everyone else, I think he had an off day as well. So 6 out of 10 for him. Final midfielder, of course, in the 10 was Gavi. I'll give Gavi a 7 out of 10. Of course, got the goal, played the full 90 as well. Was trying to get forward, trying to make some movements. Had some great recoveries offensively as well. So typical Gavi performance, but with the goal, I did bump up to a 7 out of 10. You could say probably you could argue definitely a 6 out of 10 for him as well. But I felt like there was a bit more energy from him in this game, which you do expect after him not playing midweek against Atleti. So him being one of the more fresher players in the team, very evident in this game. Into the forwards now. First on the left wing, Ferran Torres, average 6 out of 10. Great, fantastic, world-class assist for the Gavi goal. Apart from that, though, was poor. Had that poke in, that tap in that he should have scored it in the late in the first half to make it 2-1 to Barcelona from that ball they cross. Apart from that, just looked I guess he's looking more so like a 9 than he is a winger anymore, because out wide just isn't looking great whatsoever. Was slipping, was falling, could not really control the ball too many times. Like everyone else, was just dead from him, so give him a 6 out of 10. Other winger, same thing, same story. Yamal, average 6 out of 10. I think final third today, he was stinky. He dropped a stinker in the final third. I think build-up play, progressing forward, looked absolutely fine, as he tends to do. But just final third today, trying to dribble past too many players, shot block, slipping, fouls that are not being called, fouls that are being called. Just nothing from him. No magic, no spark in that final third whatsoever from him today. And again, I don't really blame him for that per se. He used that spark against Atleti in the cup, which I don't mind. But again, you want to see something in this game. You want to look for him. He was the one that everyone was looking for. The ball was coming his way every single time as well. Over our attacks came down that right-hand side, and he couldn't produce, unfortunately, any magic today. So, average 6 out of 10. Last but not least, of course, up front, RL9, Robert Lewandowski, 6 out of 10 from him. Again, did nothing, didn't really have too many chances as well. Had the maybe bicycle kick in the second half, which I don't know what he was doing. Had that one chance in the first half, actually, which he had an absolutely disgusting touch for. Heavy touch that then I think either Nathan or Bartra came and cleared it. Apart from that, didn't really have any opportunities. Didn't have a clear chance at goal, in my opinion, in this game. And again, like the rest of the team, didn't look at the races, even though he was, of course, not fully rested, but somewhat rested midweek. You expect him to be a bit more fresh, going for the Pichichi, but nothing from Lua today either. In terms of the substitutions, the subs were, of course, Rafa, Eric, Fermin, and Gerard Martin. I mean, none of them really came in, had an impact. I think Eric came in, put in a good performance in the 6th. Rafa really didn't create or do anything apart from that free kick. Fermin as well maybe had that chance at the last second to sweat it and tap it in, ran too late, had that chance that was blocked as well, but that probably was going to be flagged for offside. Gerard Martin was a bit conservative with his play, didn't really put in too many crosses, even though that's probably why Flick brought him in to, produce some final outputs and final balls there. Didn't really see that from him too much. I think Eric came in, had a solid shift, made some good interceptions, some good recovery tackles as well, defended very well. Again, it was just mainly coming in to provide more base for Barcelona in the defense, and he came in and did that pretty well, in my opinion, so no worries there for me. So the subs came in, not too much of an impact that you would like, and again, only 4 out of 5 subs were made as well. And last but not the least is, of course, the manager, Hasni Flick, who tonight for me getting an average 6 out of 10. I mean, you can't really, the team being tired and fatigued, you can't really blame too much on Flick. Of course, you can blame a little bit because he's the one that sets the team. He's the one who picks the lineup. I thought his rotation could have been a bit more effective. I think his subs were okay, but could have been more effective. I don't know why he kept Kounde on for that long. I think Hector Fort would have came in and done much better than him in the final third. Why not bring on a Pau Victor or Ansu check on an extra forward there in the end instead of bringing on Fermin, which is, a midfielder. Again, it looks like he plays a lot of favorites. He plays like players based on his pecking order, which I think is a bit annoying. He should be playing players based on the game and what the game needs. The game needed maybe a Pau Victor or Ansu more than it needed a Fermin Lopez. I rate the Eric Garcia sub, didn't mind that. And again, I just think the only way we could have won this game for me was probably going gun-ho at the beginning, full strength at the beginning, then maybe making 5 subs at the hour mark and reserving it. But again, I don't think a lot of the blame is on Flick. I think it's just one of those days where the team is tired, everyone's kind of knackered, and we tried and we couldn't get out of it in the end. But I think if Flick managed his subs and his rotation a bit better, we would have had a much better chance. But he felt like he put the best lineup out there. Again, he put out a very strong team. There's no taking away from that. And I think today's definitely more so on the players than Flick. But I think Flick, with his proactiveness, a little bit better in his in-game management, could have gotten to maybe the winner there in the end. But overall, not too much to blame on Flick, so I'll give him an average 6 out of 10. So that's a match review for Barcelona versus Real Betis in La Liga. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, of course, make sure you drop a like down below, and of course in the comments down below as well. Let me know your thoughts on everything we did discuss. Main thing, of course, I want to know is your thoughts on the performance, your player ratings, and your manager rating as well. And of course, do not forget to subscribe down below if you haven't already, and I will see you guys next time on the channel. Take care, and Forza Barca.